Imagine the scariest creature in Magic the Gathering, the most horrifying monster in the Blind Eternities. I'll give you a moment. Alright, you probably thought of the Eldrazi, eldritch terrors that literally break minds as they consume entire planes with writhing appendages. Or maybe what comes to mind is rotting, slobbering zombies that feast alive on screaming victims. Or the actual horror creature type whose members live up to the name. I mean, have you seen Bloodcurdler? Well, it doesn't matter what you imagined, because you're probably wrong. The most terrifying, heart-stopping, spine-shivering, knee-weakening creature in all the Magic Multiverse is the Squirrel. Now, before you write me off as an anti-squirrel conspiracy theorist, the animal has a long history in Magic, and through most of it, they're not presented as cute, cuddly, innocent furballs, but rather skittering harbingers of death and destruction. Horrible, in more ways than one. But what started as a joke inside the R&D department has given rise to a creature type that's not only hilarious, but diabolical. Were those mad lads at Wizards of the Coast off the reservation when representing this rodent in Magic? Well, truth be told, there's some precedent for the squirrel's savagery. We need only investigate our own backyards. This is the sound of evil. This is the sound of nightmares. Part of the family Sciuridae, squirrels are a type of rodent ranging from 10 centimeters all the way up to 1.3 meters in length. Found in urban, suburban, rural, and wilderness environments, squirrels are extremely adaptable, and they are savage. Greedy and gluttonous, they devour bird feeders and fight all to defend caches of nuts and food stored for winter. They're very territorial, posturing and squeaking to warn intruders, and when that fails, can be quite aggressive. Despite this, many species of squirrel are very agonistic and social. They often work together to forage, to build shelter, and gather together to keep warm in winter. A dominance hierarchy ensures structure, and squirrels show complex communication and coordination ability. Don't let their bushy tails and small size deceive. Although most subsist on fruits, nuts, and other plant material, squirrels have been known to eat small birds, other rodents, and even larger snakes. Fearless, vicious, they're far more terrifying than people realize. And legend has it that during the harsh winter of 2005 in Laszlo, Russia, a scurry of black squirrels, driven mad by hunger and cold, viciously attacked a large stray dog, killed it, and picked clean its bones. A haunting reminder never to underestimate squirrels, especially in great numbers. Introduced to Magic the Gathering in the summer of 1997, the squirrel creature type first appeared as tokens created by Liege of the Hollows in the Weatherlight set. It wasn't until Odyssey in 2001, however, that squirrels received printings as actual cards. Two squirrel creatures, Croson Beast and Squirrel Mob, instantly subverted the preconceptions of these woodland animals and illustrated how truly terrifying they could be. The beast represents a deranged, mutated form that maintains its savagery after emerging from winter hibernation, while the flavor text of the Squirrel Mob suggests the haunting reality of innumerable rodents when it says, "An army of squirrels is still an army." Several squirrel support cards appeared in the rest of the Odyssey block, but this was a flash in the pan. The time of the squirrel came and went. For over a decade, this creature type was sidelined, and only after a viral meme catapulted the furry fury back into the community consciousness did squirrels reclaim their terror. The Cardboard Crack comic highlights that not even the Eldrazi, not even Emrakul, breaker of time and consumer of reality, can survive an onslaught of 15 squirrels. I mean, my mind can't even comprehend what that would look like. It's at the same time so improbable and unsettling. Since then, the squirrel creature has appeared regularly in supplemental sets, and more recently as a star on the plane of Bloomborough and in Modern Horizons. But what exactly makes them so scary? First, it's the superiority and strength they achieve through numbers. Akin to ants, but not quite on the same level, squirrels are relentless and innumerable. They always come back, and always with friends. They're an irresistible deluge of claws, teeth, and beady eyes that in a skittering torrent devour all in their path. Yeah, like most people, I could probably take on a squirrel, maybe even 5, but 500? Run for your life. Cards like the aforementioned Squirrel Mob, as well as Chatterstorm and Draykeeper, illustrate the unnerving power of dozens of bushy rodents striking from the trees. My favorite, and perhaps the most terrifying, comes in the flavor text of Chittering Doom, which is accompanied by an illustration of a large oak swarming with squirrels. It reads, "One fateful night, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, they rose." Second is the squirrel's dormant power and underestimated lethality that's subtly woven into many of its accompanying cards. We see in Druid's Call a warning against thinking squirrels harmless and thus antagonizing the rodents. Its flavor text tells us to suffer the little creatures, for they may yet rise up and beat you senseless. Squirrels possess a hidden strength that rests beneath the surface, but when their ire is raised, the results can be cataclysmic. Cards on several occasions have as illustration squirrels doing precisely that, growing to gigantic proportions and beating foes senseless. Might of Oaks and Monstrous Growth both offer a horrifying reality in which squirrels are scaled to massive proportions and no longer bound to diminutive statures, devour everything before them. The squirrels of Modern Horizons specifically do well to allude to the threatening nature of these rodents. Ravenous Squirrel shows a cache brimming with large fruits, bird wings, and even a human hand, while it carries in its mouth a dead snake. The seemingly harmless flavor text would have us believe that there's nothing to worry about in the forest, just some squirrels. But no monsters lurk because the squirrels have hunted them all. If that wasn't alarming enough, we have the legend of Chatterfang, Squirrel General. Not only did he lead the squirrels of the Umbra Forest in the successful Orc Fire campaign, but again rallied their banners when drakes invaded and sought to devour them. Word has it that he alone slew over a dozen drakes and wears their teeth in a necklace as trophy. Such tales highlight the sheer savagery of the squirrel, who can best creatures multiple times its size. The flavor text of Squirrel Nest perfectly captures the innocuous but deadly nature of these beasts. In the treetops, unseen by many, lurks chittering, skittering death. Finally, there is the squirrel's resilience and unyielding nature. Like cockroaches, these rodents infest fruitful lands and spawn dozens of generations. And like goblins, they're all but impossible to eradicate. This is due to their strong association with life cycle, a theme illustrated on the plane of Bloomborough. The squirrels here are masters of both life and death. They nurture the flow of energy through this cycle and feed on it as well. Many are the warlocks and druids that revive skeletons of the dead or plant new seeds in the soil of what has perished. They exude an aura of immortality almost. Nothing can defy them, not even death. Quite an unsettling thought. We hear many mentions as well to their merciless adaptability. Squirrels on the frozen plain of Kaldheim subsist on nuts and fruits, but as that's rarely available, they hunt also beasts and humanoids, as the flavor text of Scurrid Colony hints. Scurrid teeth evolve to crack open nuts, but they work just as well for crushing bones if the nest is threatened. It's worth noting, too, that only the deranged, disturbed, or extremely druidic even associate with squirrels. No one else can stomach their horrid presence. We see cards like Nut Collector, Deep Forest Hermit, and Deranged Hermit, which show the outcasts of society falling in with these woodland creatures, who in turn lend them their fearsome power. You can tell a lot about someone by the relationships they keep, and the fact that these unstable people keep in company of squirrels is really the strongest evidence of how terrifying they are. Masters of the forest, inexorable and unconquerable, squirrels have an unassuming demeanor, but don't let that fool you. These monsters are savage and bloodthirsty. They've been known to best even the most fearsome and eldritch creatures from beyond the blind eternities. All of this is why the squirrel is the scariest creature in the multiverse. If none of my musings have convinced you, perhaps this image of a titanic scurry demolishing an entire city will find you in your nightmares. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Let me know your thoughts on the squirrel. Have I convinced you that it's the most terrifying creature in the multiverse? If not, let me know what takes top spot as well as suggestions for future videos in the comments below. And if you're a fan of lore and storytelling, be sure to subscribe to the channel where content is uploaded frequently. I want to take a moment to thank my amazing supporters over on Patreon who make all of this possible, and I couldn't do it without their fantastic support. If you'd like to become a lore luminary for access to me, a great community, written scripts, and early video drops, head to patreon.com/thelorebrarians to learn more. Until next time, go forth and explore the lore.